infusing it into your heart. It's very, very stimulating. Of course, it's healthy. It's a good exercise. And it's something is special about flags. So in my manual, I talk about this. And when I discovered that it wasn't just me that really loved them and found that they moved my spirit and they made me cry sometimes, made me very feel good. It was just amazing how I felt when I saw the very first time people do flags. And that was like in 1991, actually. So there is meaning behind the flags. And they are, a flag is actually called a banner or a standard. And so when you lift up the standard of the Lord, which Jehovah Nisi is Jehovah, the Lord our banner. So our God has many different names and characteristics. And so those names and characteristics show a little bit of himself to us. So it was his idea. It wasn't Mrs. Kosti at Spirit of Excellence, which some of the kids would always say, oh, Miss Kosti does the flags. Well, it wasn't just me that discovered them. They've been talked about and written about in the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, many, many years ago. From the very beginning, God ordained the flags and the banners. And he commanded us to lift them up, to twirl them, to make sparkly ones, to be conspicuous with them, and it would draw all people unto him. And so that was just a little bit of the word study in the book that I've written that talks all about the different names of our Jehovah, Yahweh, Shalom. And so we have different movements to express and to share all of those different names. So there's quite an art to it. Or you can just worship the God spontaneously by lifting up the flags. You don't have to be trained. And it's exciting to see that there's so much new discovering. When I discovered the use of flags for enriching your life and experiencing the presence of God, that is what really just changed my whole life. It changed our whole life. Gord, I'm just like pouring sweat because I was like dancing. So I'll let you talk. I was just telling about my story on how I discovered flags. Okay, yes, it's working good. He just didn't have his phone turned up.
Right.
So.
Yes, well, I've always been interested in creative movement. I have a drama background at the University of Windsor, and movement is such an incredible way to release emotion. And it's very interesting to find that a lot of people in movement program would get through emotional blocks or would actually come up to those blocks and with specific movements actually start weeping because it was something either locked in their cells or something that needed to be released. And creative movement was incredible in helping people release their emotions and access their emotions as well.
Yes, that's so true. Because the first time I saw a flag company of dancers, they were all in unison. They were very skilled with all of these movements now that I have become certified in. That unison and just the movement, and I don't know how to explain it, but I just wept and cried and bawled. And I felt so much better after that too. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a very positive healing, release of my emotions, and just it brought me joy. And that's when I totally wanted to, after that point, I had to do it. I had to learn how to do flags. I had to learn where can I get them from? How can I get the training? And that began our journey back in 1991. It was, and even a year or two before that, I've seen one dancer at a conference I was at in the US use flags, and she gave me her flags. I begged her so much, and they were like one of my first pair, probably this pair right here of these poles, and they were just red flag with like a sash, kind of a turquoise and gold sequence on them. But it was the poles that I needed to find, you know, because we would try to make them out of wood and dowels and so many different methods, but it was hard to access. So she gave
Mhm.
me her flagpoles and her flags too, and the sash even, which was just so royal. It just gave me such
Mhm.
value. Um, so these, I'm going to show you how these flags come off. They're a little bit different than the quill flags, which everybody is worshiping spontaneous and experiencing freedom by using the new type of flags, which
Yeah.
I was using a little bit earlier. So this is a tube, and you can see how the flag will come off, and you can change it quickly. These are Velcro. They'll even change. But if you buy more tubes, that's the way to do it. And
No.
they just attach on this twirling so they don't get caught. So this is
Right.
what I love about the twirling poles, is that you can just buy lots of these tubes and design your flags and then change them at will, and it's a lot quicker and easier. Here's from some of my kids, a little bit smaller size. This is a very good practice size, and it's like a worship warrior combat style with the camouflage. And then these poles are with the rubber baton, the rubber ball, and then they're weighted and they're stainless steel. They have a tip that goes on the end. I've had these since 1990. And well, that had to be before 91. I think it was like in the late 80s. So these last forever. And if
Yeah.
you noticed, I did a couple of twirls where I threw up the flag and it totally twirls like this, and I caught it back the right way. It just falls into your hand the right way.
Those original flags are really from the military tradition, where they had to be able to show the troops what they were doing. And the flags were signals, and you had to be able to throw them up so everybody in your squadron could see what you were doing. So in the original days of flagging in church, those were problematic because they had to invent rubber tips. Because if you hit somebody with one of those,
Yes,
they were going
exactly.
down, not in the
And
spirit.
and these are really weighted too. So when you do use these, they move very fast. You notice how I could twirl them very, very fast around. And because they're weighted, the weight of the flag itself and the pole will force it to move faster.
Incredible momentum with those. And but the thing is, using those, you have to be very, very skilled. Those are
Yes,
very hard to
but
use.
it's amazing. I think I'm the only one of the only few. I know of. I'm sure there's some that are like don't know, and I'm unknown. I'm unknown, and but Margaret Yap has trained thousands and thousands of flag worshipers from Shaka Ministries. So that's where I was certified, and I learned all the scriptures and all the meanings of the movements. And they have flag troops all over the world. Our first experience going to a big flag dancers conference was at the New York downtown Manhattan with a St. Jacobitz Center. It was like a big ballroom. There were 700 people, all flag dancing in unison because
Wow.
we had learned these 4 levels of movement. So you don't have to be that skilled or that fabulous, really. And I think I'm one of the few, that's what I was going to say, I'm one of the few that have actually trained little children. The Lord gave me all these little children, whereas actually this is like a university age or college age sport, and they have international competitions called like cheer and color guard and all those kind of, spirit bands. But in ministry and in Christian worship, I was one of the first to teach all little children. And you know what? They all are fabulous. You've seen the videos, which actually John could post a link maybe to our YouTube channel, and you can look at all the playlists back. One time we brought our flag company of kids, 30 or 40 kids, and we went to this neighborhood of all like a, Meadowbrook neighborhood if you're in Windsor. So it's kind of like, huge, huge area of kids and international kids. And they had this event. So we had all of our flags out. I had like 60 flags or something. And every little child wanted to come, especially the boys, and they did flags. So that's our link on our YouTube channel, Spirit of Excellence. It's our username. And you will see how it was so easy to teach these kids. And then my kids, these young, like Ashley and, so many of the young preteens that we had, and Alyssa, and they were teaching them all the movements. So they learned a whole dance choreography, and we were able to make that connection and reach them with the love of God, and follow up with them. So it's a great tool of outreach, and you don't have to be that skilled, but it does take some practice. Now let me show you the other kind of flags that are really become popular now, and because they're easy to use, they're not dangerous. And this is the big movement is quill flags. So I was dancing with one of the white ones, which is ready to paint for somebody. So they end up turning out very beautiful, like watercolors patterns. But then this is my royalty one, which is gold silk and purple organza. All right. So these are much bigger usually, and they are much easier to use because they don't have the weight in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
And it's a nice flexible rod as well.
Yes. So if you hit somebody, it'll just bend, and it will actually bend to this much of a U shape, and then you could store them and travel with it in a tote bag. You just take your flag and wrap it around, and it will keep them handy. Just tuck it one end in,
Mm-hmm.
and then it will fit in your dance bag or tote bag, or if you're traveling, your luggage very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the latest rage, which I love, and it's wonderful to see so many ministries, so many people, men and women, dancing now and being free and experiencing that freedom of emotions, healing, and then they become not so self-conscious and not so bottled up, and they can be free to experience God and to receive from Him and from the Holy Spirit will then bring them healing, because they're sitting there like this in the church service, like, or like that.
Yeah.
They have to stand up. They start to forget about themselves and forget about everybody else. And then they receive from God. When you can move freely, it's a beautiful experience, and it's very uplifting to everybody.
Well, we're made to move. We are made to move.
Yes, we are. And during this time of being social distancing and keeping yourself from, people, is a hard time for people because they're motivated by others. Most of us are. Some of us like to be alone. I mean, I like to be alone in my time. I've enjoyed having this downtime and being able to do more things that I can think on, not being so, so many agendas going continuously and activities. But this is a good time. People are turning to prayer. They're turning to thinking and journaling and spending that time in themselves and with their families. And so, to reflect on what's really important. So that's when something like this, flags or even prayer shawls and mantles, and can be a good time, because it will help you to have that symbolism to focus, and it helps you to enter into that time and not be distracted, because it keeps your focus on the beauty of the garment or the beauty of the flag or the prayer shawl, which actually can cover over your head and keep you from being distracted. And then you can wear it even. And it's a beautiful symbolism that brings you back to reflect and to spend time during this. Any questions out there from anybody? Anybody still watching? Sorry for any technicalities. Who? 6 people?
It's a lot to get everything moving and to get all the Zoom and Facebook linked up. It's quite a feat. You've done well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like using technology because it's free. I didn't have to buy anything, and so I'm thankful for Zoom. I do pay to use that for my online courses monthly, which we have all of our programs online. We have the flags online. We can do live interaction with them, but we have the course materials all there. We have a flag manual there then. so that you can study and practice on the videos, and yet it's nice to have that personal relationship. So I like to do my online courses, but I like to use Zoom or any meeting I used to use to make that personal connection, because that's what it's all about, is building relationships. And I wanted to connect with women and men and women with the Spirit of Excellence whole ministry in the arts and music. But with the beauty school, we could connect with them live like this, and also with all the course material is online. So it's a good tool. So I use the Zoom, but using the Zoom and multi-cameras helps you to have better view. You can talk and you can show things. And then we had to use it from PC to be able to live stream to YouTube or to Facebook. So that's why we had to do it, go on earlier. Yes. Share anything else or what you noticed? I know I sent you a flag manual. Gord is, let me just introduce him again in case you just tuned in. He's a board of directors, member of a board of the Spirit of Excellence Board of Directors, and he's a longtime musician and friend of John's, my husband, John Kosti. They were in their first band together, and maybe you can share that. I love sharing that as a nostalgic.
That old picture?
Yeah, oh. Yeah, I love that picture. That's like one of my favorite.
Jeans. Me and my acid wash jeans.
Oh, yeah. Too cool.
Pleated jeans, yes.
Pleated jeans even. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Got those bad boys from Montreal.
Wow. Yeah, so that's who Gord is, and he comes from Hamilton. It was Windsor, Oakville. He's in Hamilton now. And so we're blessed to be able to have him come to Windsor and help us do our outreach events and just to paint together or do creative projects and photography. We're going to redo my videos and upgrade them. So this is the man. Some of my students said, yeah, you can update your videos. Yeah, well, it takes a lot of technology to set it all up. So we're thankful for him being a part of Spirit of Excellence. And we have another board of directors. She's in Paisley, Ontario. And her daughter, actually, she's been connected to Spirit of Excellence since like 2001. And her daughter took flags and moved away and then started doing flags in that area up north. And then now is in Ottawa area and married and had her first baby. And so it's such a testimony and encouragement to me to hear that she wants to start doing flags again. So our mission is to raise up people that will be active, be doing the creative movement and arts and flags, because it's so uplifting and it's a good way to communicate the good news of the gospel. Have a song? Do another song, John says. Which flags do you want me to use? Maybe I'll use the quill flags now. Is Jacqueline, my new friend from New Brunswick, on? No? Just ask. Well, Jacqueline, if you are, just let me know if you have any. I'll do a song.
Of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify the love. Be a witness in the silence, says the words are not enough. With every breath I take, we'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Oh, a little bit. I'm kind of like out of shape, you know? The quill flags work very beautifully, but you still need to know how to wave them. You know, you need to have your arm stretched. Having them too close to your body, they kind of get tangled up. But, you know, it'll work. Anything works. Just keeping them moving is beautiful and exhilarating. Yes.
That's lovely. Well, Colleen,
So,
one of the things that's been really important to me and why I believe so much in your and John's ministry is I see people coming into fullness. And you have a special emphasis on young girls at risk, because if they don't know who they are and they don't have confidence in who they are so vulnerable and susceptible to all kinds of things out there that would be glad to take advantage of them, from situations and people and all kinds of things. And you find so many women get through 10 years of wreckage, and then they finally come out and they're like, oh, you know, they stop and they take stock of their lives, and then they start to work on who they are, and they start to gain a confidence. So your ministry works to get in front of that train wreck, to, you know, to capture these girls when they're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? And to teach them how to honor themselves, to teach them that God loves them and has a wonderful plan for their lives, to teach them that their body is holy and their body is special, and to honor it. And other people need to honor it as well. And this is, like, your ministry, I'm sure, has prevented so much just wreckage in people's lives, especially girls who are so vulnerable. You know, girls who are taught at a very early age to please other people. You please other people. You say yes, you don't get to say no. And you help people learn to say no in a way, because when something conflicts with that honor they have for themselves, they'll recognize that, and hopefully they'll say no. And that's so important. It's important for boys and men too, but especially girls, because they're taught so much just to please other people. So that's why I'm part of this ministry, because I believe in what you do, and I see the difference when I'm down there in the lives that you are facilitating. And of course, for people to know the love of God for themselves too. And that's, of course, paramount.
yes, yes. And I'm excited because we're seeing more people are turning to personal worship of God and ways of demonstrating it. So in 1 week, I think I've had 3 people contact me about getting flags or getting the rods. Even if you just need rods, we'll sell you the rods and you can make your own flags, because it's fun. It's a fun group activity to do. But we need women and men that will be leaders and will teach and educate people to the value of it, because it's not just, it's more than what you see, right? Like what you just shared, Gordon. It's very emotionally healing. It's very uplifting. It's a fun thing. I mean, just fun things are good for people to do that actually have a meaning and a spiritual purpose to them. And so we're seeing more and more people are saying, hey, we want to know more. We want to start a flag company. We want to have gather, you know, their friends or these girls. And boys are really, really great at the flag twirling batons. They are amazing because they can do sword throws and belt kicks and, you know, all of those movements that are kind of like martial arts and, like you said, military movements, but they have meaning, and then you can express it to music. And I mean, our flag company, Spirit of Excellence Flag Company, performed at over 280 events in a few years, and they were all community events, but maybe 3 churches. So, you know, you can take it out to the streets, and to when we're able to do that again soon. Jacqueline in beautiful island, Grand Manan Island of New Brunswick, is excited to hear that, because she already had that in her heart to go out to the neighborhoods, go out to some picnics and events, public events, and do the flags, do songs. So it's exciting to see more people are doing that. So if you have that in your heart to do, contact us, contact me, and we'll help you. We'll help you. We'll help you with the materials, with the flag poles, and to learn what to do. And the great thing is we can come together with people that we have never even met. And we did that once with people up in Barrie, in Aurelia. We came together with a dance team of, I think they had 12 or 13 girls back in 2008. And I did the choreography, I taped it, they learned it, they practiced it. They had a wonderful leader. She is a good lady that helped them practice. And then we came together and did the performance at the Rogers Center. It was a big heavens rehearsal. It was a big, beautiful event. So, when you learn the rudiments, and it's like playing the piano. You learn music, you can do music with anybody. You can get together and learn very quickly. So when you learn the flag movements, you can then, learn what to do and put them together, and you already know the basics. So it makes it really great. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more outreach areas where the kids have nothing to do. Maybe they have a basketball court, maybe they have a community center. We had to buy like 24 batteries to bring in our boom box and carry out, because they didn't even have power at Meadowbrook Center. And they did have, though, a baseball diamond or a basketball court. So that's what we used. And we had all those batteries on that big, huge ghetto box, we used to call it, right? You take it to the center of the neighborhood. And we put on the music, and we had lots of flags, and everybody came out. There was like 100 kids in 5 minutes. So we want to keep doing that. So if you want to help support the ministry so that we can do more outreach and have the provision for these kids and go to the areas where they really need it. So that's what we do. That's what we like to do. And then we can we can reach them with the good news of the gospel. And then we can raise up leaders or have our company leaders continue to train up those kids. So that's the vision. It hasn't died. It's kind of died, and you get discouraged. But now it's like people are having it burst in their hearts. And the Lord will bring people that really need to be uplifted and want to be a part of something that changes their life. And so that's what happens. Your life gets changed.
Can you also just mention
the fact that you're a charity and how long you've been a registered charity?
Yes, well, we formed as a non-for-profit seminary of learning in 2003, June. And then a few years later, we became an official registered charity, Canada Revenue Approved, and they named us as a philanthropic seminary of learning. You love that? So we can have a Bible school officially. That hasn't really taken off too much yet. We've trained some people in biblical creative arts programs. We have all the, and we can have the beauty school division. We have the Worship Arts Institute, which is the seminary. And then we have the Queen Esther, the Quest School, which is the teenage personal grooming and finishing skills, how to dress. We also do personal image for men and women. I've stylized people all over the world, a handful, artists and Christian recording artists on what to wear for their body type and to have a good, personal, professional image. And so, yeah, that's the three main divisions, all umbrellaed by the ministry of role modeling the spirit of excellence, AKA Spirit of Excellence. So we are a registered charity. You can get tax receipts. You can do goods and kinds, donations of things, cars, van would be really great. So we can actually pick up and take all of our equipment and follow up and help these kids that are in some remote areas in our city too. And because a lot of people don't have funding, so we have to fund it. You have to have some snacks. I do a healthy meal program with table manners, good conversation skills, and then we teach them personal, life skills and leadership skills, and then we do flags and fitness. Yeah. So you want one more song? You want one more song?
That's important to know, the whole charity status.
Yes. Yes, it is, because that's quite an accomplishment. We are thankful for that. We've been here 5 years in this new location. Can you come grab my flags? They're all falling now. And then we've been 10 years, over a decade, on Drulai Road. Now we're just up from Drulai Road at Riverside Drive on Cadillac. Maybe I'll just do one flag. Yeah, I'll just do one flag then, because it's off. And so our training center was there from 2005 to 2015 or 16. We moved out and we came to the water's edge here. Beautiful. We love it here. We're thankful for this building and that they allow us to do all that we do here. And we're in the back, the rectory of it. But this is the main wedding event center now. The church was closed in 2007. It was Our Lady of the Rosary Church until 2007. So it's a beautiful historical building. So we claim this as it is a beautiful event place to have conferences, weddings, showers, and also a place that brings life and through our arts and creativity. So we're in the perfect place now. We have much more space and it's nicer space. So yeah, you can check the website, spiritofexcellence.ca, and you'll see pictures of it. Okay, let me see what song. If you want to say anything, Gord, go ahead.
No, I want to see your next song.
I haven't practiced choreography in a while. Oh my goodness. I'm just looking at them going, oh, wow, yeah, I need to practice those. Here's Dancing in the River. This is a really fun one. I won't do the whole song though, okay? Like, John, you're gonna come and turn this off. I am already. We used to use this one for our warm-up. My toe is sore. Okay, let's see here. I really should use two. We used to like go across the room. I don't know if anybody's watching from Spirit of Excellence Days. We would like march across to get our rhythm going. Actually, I'll show you. Okay. Then we would do another movement. This is a river circle with a gallop. And then we would do freestyle. Then we go side by side. So just lifting the flag, different positions is very moving. You better put rights to this one too. It's Samaria. Dance in the river. Okay, I gotta do one. Yeah.